Happy holidays. Welcome in the NBA tip-off show powered by WagerTalk.com. We got a nice little slate of games here in the association. And then, of course, we got a couple of interesting games coming up on Christmas here, but a lot going on across the sports betting universe here, not just today, but throughout the holiday weekend. We'll try to make heads or tails of what's coming up here tonight. A couple of best bets. We'll hear from the Contrarian gods. We'll talk a total, and we'll do it with three of the single most profitable handicappers at WagerTalk.com in the NBA as we welcome back in Skee Profit in the house. RC, Ronald Kabang, ready to go, as is Mr. Teddy Covers, ready here on this 6-7 games here on the slate here tonight. Some interesting spots. We'll get to what everyone has available for you guys to partner up with here over this weekend. But like we customarily do, the Contrarian gods open up the show. And the Contrarian gods have been just pissed off at anybody sticking the finger up at them. But I'll tell you that, RC knows better. He's the one in tune with them. Hit again last night with Orlando, and now they are looking at the Brooklyn Nets getting 4.5 as they have had a couple of days here to lament in what was just an absolutely atrocious West Coast trip there. But they welcome in Denver. Never an easy spot here, Skee, but you think there's some value back in the Brooklyn Nets here tonight, finally at home?
Usually I would agree with this because I don't always view the Nuggets as a great road team. The Nuggets are 5-9 as a road favorite so far this season, but lately they've been covering in that role. And why? Because they've gotten a lot healthier. And tonight they should have all their pieces once again. They've covered what 5 of their last 6 games, and Brooklyn's been the opposite. So I can understand why it's the contrarian play. Nobody wants Brooklyn. I don't want them either. Mikal Bridges has been um, he's just been struggling a little bit right now. So both teams on the front end of a back to back. Um, the categories that I care about, Denver has been top 10 the last 5 games. So only way I can look in the point spread range like this, where you're pretty much just asking them to win the game, it'll be Denver.
Like in Denver. You heard it here, RC, first there. All right. You know what happens when we start defying the contrarian gods. You, my man, have been spot on with them. So what are you thinking here tonight? You in agreement with Skee or the contrarian gods here tonight?
No, I was actually looking at this Nets team here, the plus 4.5. It makes sense to me. I know, Ski mentioned how much the Nuggets have struggled on the road, especially during the early part of the season. I think they failed to cover 8 of their first 9 road games. They have covered 5 of their last 7 on the road. But for me, I think one of the things I look at with this Nets team is how well they've been covering at home. They're 10-3-1 against the spread at the house this season. One of the statistical things that I looked at where I feel like the Nuggets might struggle, right? They majority of their points come from within the paint. The Nets are actually sixth in the league in limiting points in the paint. So if Claxton is in there, doesn't get into foul trouble, he might be able to hold down the fort in the paint and limit the Nuggets to possibly under their team total. But coming back to the house, I think second game home after that road trip, I could see the Nets getting things together offensively, and maybe they get the cover plus 4.5. I would go with the contrarian gods on this one.
All right, looking at the contrarian gods in this one here with the Brooklyn Nets. Teddy, that is one apiece here, my man. You know how this works. You got to break the tie for us. Which side is it you are leaning towards?
I'm happy to break the tie for this one because to me it's very clear. I'm going contrarian gods. The contrarian gods are my friend tonight. And it's a spot for Brooklyn. It's a flat out. I mean, they had that West Coast trip. They got bombed at Sacramento. They bounced back at Phoenix, won that game straight. They got bombed at Denver, bounced back at Golden State, lost that game in the closing seconds. They went to Utah, no show at the end of the road trip. And they came home and no showed their first game back. This is their show game, all right? And you read the quotes, and I love those quotes coming out of the locker room. What do I got here? We got Cam Johnson. We need to be the team that punches first every night. We're not that team now. We haven't been that team the past couple of games. Texas emergency there. Jack Vaughn talking about the loss to the Knicks. You know, we were both on the West Coast. No one can use that as an excuse. They came back home. We came back home, played a game, same amount of rest, and they were better than us tonight in all facets of the game. Now they get the defending champs tonight. You talk about a good step-up spot for the home dog off a couple of bad showings. This is it. And Denver, I've watched them closely. They've shown a propensity for blowing leads for kind of, they get up 10 and they kind of exhale a little bit. I've seen it happen, I think, twice or three times in the last week or two, where Denver's had a lead and then all of a sudden it's a little bit dicey. This one feels like it's going to be dicey down the stretch. Give me Brooklyn plus the points.
All right, looking at Brooklyn plus the points here. Should be a good matchup tonight, and so should our featured matchup here as the Sacramento Kings are welcoming in the Phoenix Suns here tonight. Both teams coming off a couple of head-scratching losses here, looking to rebound. The question is, which one do we trust more to do that, Skee? Phoenix taking on the Kings. Light the beam. Who you going with here tonight?
This one, if I have to pick from a side perspective, I'd probably like to look towards the Sun. The Kings are on the front end of a back-to-back. They play Minnesota tomorrow, and I know the Suns haven't been covering what they've failed. They've only covered one of their last 10 games. But when I look at the categories that I care about, they've been the better defensive team, and I think they are the better defensive team in general than Sacramento all year. But what I'm talking about is the last 5 game stats. They've also been the better rebounding team. They are going to miss Nurkic tonight. But if they can do those two things, they're more than capable on the offensive end versus a poor Sacramento defense. So getting plus 3.5, I think they can keep it respectable. On the total, I mean, Sacramento, one of those teams that just plays with a whole lot of pace and not a whole lot of defense. If they're going to win this game, which the market expects them to because they're favorites, it's going to be an up-tempo and a game with a lot of points. They went over 9 of their last 10 at home. I would think that this is another high-scoring affair. So either the Suns plus or the Kings, or Suns plus or the full game over would be the ways I look at this one.
All right, good stuff there. How about you, RC? Should a game that both of these teams would like to get a W for here? Are you leaning one side or the other?
Yeah, this one is tough just because both of them kind of coming off embarrassing losses, right? The Suns lost to the Blazers. They've actually lost 7 of their last 10 games. They don't play until Christmas Day. Potential look ahead, but I mean it's a few days ahead. The Kings on their side, they lost by what 20, 25 points to the Celtics. So
Oof.
they're also looking to bounce back. The good thing for them is they have been at home. This is the 5th of a 6-game homestand, so they haven't had to travel or anything like that. But Skee mentioned, they got that game tomorrow, first leg of back-to-back games. They got the Wolves on deck. I think Nurkic is, obviously a key person obviously they'll be missing. And Malik Monk is, from what I've seen, is questionable. He did not practice yesterday. I don't know if there's any updated news on him, but if Monk doesn't play, that's a huge loss to that second unit for the Kings there. For me, I just feel like I think the Suns they lost and failed to cover 5 straight games against teams with a winning record. That's one thing that I saw. That includes a game against the Kings already. They actually went under by a huge margin the first time around, and the total was 235.5. I think we're seeing I think it opened at 245 today, and I think it came down a little bit. No KD or no Beal in that first game, though. That's probably the reason why that total was a little bit lower. So for me, it's kind of telling the books is telling us that there's probably going to be a lot more points this time around. But the market is disagreeing. So I don't know where to go from a total perspective. But one thing I did look at was how do the Kings do off of a loss? 6-3 straight up, 5-4 against the spread. But I looked at how they do after a loss against a team with a winning record. They're 4-0 straight up and against the spread in that spot. And the list of teams that they beat in this situation, they beat the Wolves, they beat the Nuggets, they beat the Suns in that one spot there, and then they beat the Thunder. So that's a pretty good list to beat in that situation. And also at home against teams above 500, 4-1 straight up and against the spread. So to me, I think the Kings tend to play up to their opponent's level. Obviously, they didn't take care of business against the Celtics, but coming off of a loss and in this situation, it could be a King spot here.
All right, there we go. It's an interesting game here, Teddy. At this juncture here, both teams certainly hoping to play better here tonight. Are you having a feeling one will play a little bit better than the other?
Well, I don't like disagreeing with Skee. I respect Skee significantly when it comes to NFL. That said, I don't like disagreeing with Ronald either. But me and Ronald are aligned today. Me and Skee aren't, at least not so far. Well, who's Phoenix? Phoenix stinks. All right. There's nothing fraudulent about the Suns' 14-13 record. There's nothing fraudulent about them being 3 and what are they, 3-7 in their last 10 games. The only teams they're beating, like straight up beating, they beat Washington by 4. They beat Memphis when Memphis didn't have anyone by 7. Didn't cover the spread in that one. Who's it? Golden State. In that was a bizarre game, and then they tried to blow that one as well. I don't trust the Phoenix side. My clients and I bet against them as road favorites in Portland the other night. They had a good first half, and we saw what happened down the stretch. They're not locked in mentally. Okay, they're really not. And you contrast that with I love these kind of quotes from Mike Brown sort of stand out to me. After the Celtics just kicked their ass, that was a good old fashioned butt kicking. Give the Celtics a lot of credit. They sure didn't look like the team that was waiting on us here. Boston was on the second of back-to-back. Sacramento was waiting on them. They had won 8 of their previous 11. I think they win tonight, and I would not be surprised at all if they win by margin. It's favorite or pass for this better.
All right, favorite or pass there for Teddy. Nice today here, guys. We got a little disagreement across the board, which means, well, knowledge is power here, guys. You guys get to make the final decision on what you are betting, but you are getting both sides of the equation. Now let's see if we can get all of these guys to agree on a total here tonight. And I have a feeling we just might here as we take a look at, ta-da, the Wizards taking on the Golden State Warriors. Who in the hell is sweating out an under with the Washington Wizards? I have a feeling it ain't Skee. But Skee, what are you thinking here, man? 247. It's kind of holding steady here. What do you think? Wizards I think they finally won a game last night, in fact, against Portland. What are you going to do here tonight? You think over is the way to look?
Well, you're right. It's extremely hard for me to look towards unders in Wizards games. They are on a back-to-back. I think if the Wizards are going to be competitive here, it's going to be because of their offense, not mostly because of their defense. And the Warriors, they are on the front end of a back-to-back. The thing that bothers me about playing the over here is just that the Warriors haven't been playing with as much pace as I would like. So, combination of that, we now see Wiggins questionable. I know Pods is questionable for tonight. They could be missing a whole lot of people, and having to play again tomorrow, they might not have enough firepower to get up and over this number. So it's tough. I guess 8 of the last 10 meetings have went over, but this one just feels a little bit different. I'll lean with the under.
Oh, all right. Looking at the under in this one here. I guess it makes sense. I mean, it wasn't like they dropped a $140 last night, RC, against Portland. They did squeak out a win. Now second of that back-to-back here. You think they got enough left in the tank to be able to get this up and over?
I think so. I mean, to me, Wizards are a young team. They should be able to kind of keep the pace going with this Golden State squad. I think with them being the last of the 4-game Western Conference road trip, second leg of back-to-back games. Obviously, they came off that one point win yesterday, but if you look at the games where at least one of the teams is the second leg of back-to-back games, the over is actually hitting at a 60% rate on the season. In the league as a whole. But obviously, I don't know if that rate's going to continue, but that's just how things have been going lately. And if that continues, obviously this is going to look towards an overtime game. I know Wiggins, being questionable, downgraded to questionable, that is going to be a key loss for this Warriors team. But at the same time, that kind of gives more minutes to these guys who play a lot quicker, right? Who gets their shots up a lot quicker than when Wiggins is in there. Also, that kind of takes a defensive minded player away from them as well. Obviously, it'll hurt probably from the offensive rebounding perspective because he's he's sort of like an underrated offensive rebounder. So that might be something that they're missing here. But for me, I think like I said, the second back to back trend kind of points to the over. More minutes for Clay and Curry. That kind of looks towards the over. I would love to have Podziemski in there because he's been really great for this team, especially on the offensive side of the ball. But yeah, for me, I would actually look towards the over in this one.
All right, looking towards the over. All right, Teddy, kind of split down the middle here again, my man. So it is up to you. Do you trust these two to hit enough shots to get this thing to 250?
Yeah, I do. I'm not playing. Let's start with this. There's not a chance I'm going to watch this game and make a bet on the under. All right. Talk about wanting to rip your eyeballs out. The pace is going to be there.
Woo!
You want overs. Obviously Jordan Poole's return. Betting on Poole in terms of the prop market makes a whole lot of sense with this. So he's got something a little bit to prove. And of course, Poole on the second of back-to-backs. Last week he was in this spot. 10 of 18 from the floor, 28 points in 29 minutes. Worth noting. 141 to 131 final in the second of back-to-backs for Washington last week, 272. Prior to that, I think they gave up 136 in their previous back-to-back. And the Warriors just scored $121 in regulation against the Celtics elite defense last time out. I think Golden State's going to get theirs. I think Jordan Poole's going to get his. And I'm certainly not looking to play this game under the total. Go over. Fun money, pizza bet, whatever you want to call it. But over is the only way I can look here. There's not this game would be really, really. If you're going to play the under, don't watch. I'll just leave it at that.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic advice there in this one here. All right, well, we got totals, we got featured matchups, we got a contrarian look, and that leaves us, of course, some best bets coming up and a couple of dogs we're going to take a look at. But first, do want to remind you guys, if you're joining us for the very first time here at WagerTalk TV, hit that subscribe button and check out all the great content we've got all weekend long. Head-to-head battles coming up, whether it be NFL, college football, bowl games, daily NBA, college hoops, NHL, you name it, we've got it. Also, if you are joining us live here today on this Friday, a happy holidays to you and yours. Hit that like button if you could, the thumbs up. We certainly appreciate it. We have some dogs to take a look at here tonight, and let's see what we got here, Robbie.
That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
All right, well, let's see. We got 6 games, 6 dogs. We got the Raptors, the Nets, the Mavericks, the Phoenix Suns, the Washington Wizards, and the Atlanta Hawks here in Miami tonight. So, Skee, you've been out on an island all damn show here, man. There is no point in you changing now. So tell me where you're rolling for a dog here tonight.
First of all, this has to be wrong, right? The Wizards, they're 8.5.
No, that's
No,
11.
that's 12. It should be 12, right?
It's 12. Yeah, this graphic was
12.
made a little earlier. Oh, yeah, 12 and a half it is.
All right. I was going to say, I don't know if I still want to get in at 8. 12?
No, 12.
I think 12 is a pretty good number to get in with the Wizards. And what I'll say here, I don't care. I could be on an island again. It's all right.
Yeah.
Wizards are on a back-to-back, but this is a young squad, and they had 2 days off before their last game. So I think they'll be just fine on this back-to-back. This is their role. 11-6 as road dogs. Teams have roles. This is not Golden State's role. They've only covered 2 out of 10 games as a home favorite. We talked about Jordan Poole returning to Golden State. I mean, the only person who feels the slightest bit or any bit of animosity towards Jordan Poole is not going to be on the court. He's going to be able to play free. And when players go back to face their old team, plenty of players have said this. The team wants to make sure that they have a good game, and they want to do their best to get the win for them when they go back to face their old squad. That's Washington tonight. Golden State, they are on the front end of a back-to-back. They're off of an overtime game. It's not the spot where you want to lay double digits with them. They're just fine getting in and out with the win here. Wizards plus is the best dog today.
Boom! All right, we've got 11 and a half 12s we're seeing across the board. So Wizards for Skee. Got to love that, RC. Goes right for the biggest damn dog on the board here, my man. How about you, man? A couple of intriguing spots. Where are you looking tonight?
Yeah, I think going back to that contrarian play, the Nets plus 4.5. I think that might be the actually the best dog that I see on the board today. A lot of things that I mentioned, right? Statistical interaction, some of the trends point in the direction of the Nets. The Nets 10-3-1 ATS at home, and also the fact that I think Claxton and this Nets team can limit the Nuggets in the paint, and if they're able to do that, they should be able to not only cover this number, the 4.5, but I think it's really low for a reason. I think they have a shot at actually winning this game outright, in my opinion. I think Nets is the way to go for the best dog on the board.
Ain't gonna that's it. If it ain't broke, ain't fixing. Are you going with the Nets here tonight? Which means Teddy, couple of spots left to choose from here. Where might you be looking for a dog to bark tonight?
I'm going to bet against a false favorite, but I'm not doing it yet because the injury info just come out and it's even worse for Dallas than it was earlier. Dallas not going to have Kyrie Irving. They're better without Kyrie, by the way. Anytime the markets move with Kyrie out, note for fact Dallas is better without him on the floor. They play better without him all year. Dante Exum out. What's that guy's name? Luca. Yeah, he's out as well.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't look like Derek Lively's going to play. I was very comfortable backing Dallas without their starting backcourt in this game, plus 8.5 against Houston. Houston stinks right now. All right. My clients and I cashed a ticket with the Rockets, had to be, about 10 days ago, where they shot 34% from the game and still covered against San Antonio. They scored 93 and covered. That's how good their defense was. The last 3 games, bombed by Milwaukee, bombed by Cleveland, bombed by Atlanta. The defense isn't there right now. And they were talking about it. I don't know how they're going to fix it exactly. But they're not a team I'm comfortable laying this price with. Dallas, certainly not a team I'm afraid. And then, of course, the Jason Kidd quotes, they were going to play small ball. We're going to go fast. So that's not necessarily what you want to see for a favorite who's struggling on the defensive end right now. Give me the Mavs plus the spot, but again, no urgency. The latest injury report just looked even worse for Dallas. So wait till they bet it up more. You can find 9s right now. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 10 by tip-off.
Good point. Yep. No rush there as the Mavs, that injury report not looking good against the Rockets here tonight. All right, so we got dogs, we got totals, we've got contrarian plays, but now it's the moment of truth. We need some best bets from these guys. We throw 60 seconds on the clock. They can do whatever the hell they want with that, provided they drop us a best bet. So, Skee, come on out on that island. Skee Island. Come on, man. Tell us. 60 seconds. Where are you rolling here tonight?
I'll go to Atlanta and Miami, and I'll take a look at the total here. I'm going to go with over, and the best number I see on the board right now is 238. Looking at the way both of these teams have been playing lately, I mean, over 6 of the last 7 for Atlanta, over 5 of the last 6 for Miami. Miami will be without Jimmy Butler tonight, but the people who will be available are guys who are going to shoot a lot of three-pointers. And looking at both of these teams, Miami's number 1, but both top 10 three-point shooting teams, both bottom 10 defending the three. So that's just a recipe for a lot of points in this one. And the way Atlanta plays, up-tempo, not a whole lot of defense. So it's only one way I can look at this one. I'll choose for my best bet to go up and over the 238.
Oh, boom. Miami Heat, Atlanta Hawks going up and over. How about you, RC? Where are you looking for a best bet on this board tonight?
Yeah, going back to that Nets Nuggets game, I like the under in this one. Actually, the under 230, I believe, is the number. The total is a little bit too high. My model has it at 226. Actually, the Nets 4-1 to the under at home, and the total is above 230. The Nuggets 8-4 to the under as road favorites this season, averaging a combined 219.3 points per game in that spot there. For me, when I look at pace, they're both in the bottom half of the league. Nuggets specifically 28th in the league in pace. Majority of the points, like I mentioned earlier, for the Nuggets come in the paint. Nets 6th in the league in limiting points in the paint. If you look at the net side, they're actually 7th in the league in defensive field goal percentage as well. So the Nets sort of are a good matchup against this Nuggets team defensively. If you look at the opposite side here, the Nets, they're 5th most percentage from the three in the league, but the Nuggets are top 10 in 3-point defense. So that's something that would limit the Nets if the Nuggets care to play any defense here. So for me, a lot of the stats are pointing towards the under in this one.
All right. Looking at an under as well in that Nets game. All right. That leaves us one more here. And Teddy, who's been absolutely crushing it, remind the folks what you got going on over at WagerTalk.com and hit us with a best bet, man.
Well, I've got a minute. I figured I'd sing some Christmas carols, if that's all right with you guys, and then give you the best bet at the end. You know? I'm joking.
As long as Skee beatboxes, we're good. Come on, Skee.
Yeah. Oh, this is Christmas. All right. Sorry. At WagerTalk.com, look, it's 38-20 now with the last 58 in the NBA. It's been consistently good over the last since February of 2022, counting every play every day. 59% up, 199 units, not quite 200. Maybe we'll get there tonight. But this is one that stands out. I mean, Miami -1.5 at home against Atlanta. I understand Jimmy Butler's not playing, but I also understand that I don't want the Hawks off a win, and I really don't want the Hawks off back-to-back wins, especially they got the last one against a Houston team that I was just disparaging a moment ago. No Jimmy Butler, no problem. Kevin Love's going to play. Maybe he'll be the difference maker. Miami -1.5.
Ooh. Miami getting it done. No Jimmy, no problem is what they're saying here. And once again, a look at those best bets to recap. We're looking at an under with the Nuggets and the Nets here tonight, 230 for RC. Skee going over in that Atlanta-Miami game, expecting bombs away, while Teddy says, yeah, I don't think so, Atlanta. Miami, lay the one and get it done here tonight. Don't forget to visit all three of these guys over on their page at WagerTalk.com. Plenty going on this weekend, not just in the NBA, but of course, college football, NFL, a lot. No reason not to make it a very profitable holiday week. And of course, on behalf of Skee, Teddy, and Ronald Kabang, we want to wish you and yours a very happy and safe holiday. We'll be back again next week here as the NBA in full effect. Some people say the NBA don't really start until Christmas, so we have got you covered here. And don't miss out on all the rest of the videos. Go ahead and click on your video on the screen right now. Check out all the rest of the big matchups coming up this weekend, and have a safe and happy Christmas. We'll see you again next week. Good luck.